Hello, Pisces, Magic Muse. Welcome back to As Above, So Below Healing Tarot, where you are the magic baby. This is going to be a reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus Pisces. So let's get into this. And Pisces, as I was meditating on the energies, I was hearing deprogramming the old. So, and we are now in Gemini season, so it is about cerebral activity, it's about communication, and it is about thought. So let's see what's going on for Pisces. And Pisces, if you would like a chance for the pick a card reading, go ahead and put your name down in the comments below and stay till the end of the video. I might pick your name. Who knows? All right. Autonomy. I love this. Yeah, deprogramming the old. So this is really about going your own way too, and really moving into the direction where you want to see your growth. So I feel like there's a lot of deprogramming old narratives that perhaps family put on you, perhaps, society has put on you. And I feel like a lot of Pisceans are really moving in a creative venture where it doesn't feel like you're being constricted into a certain box or a mold. Like you really need to be in a fluid role where you can grow. And also, Pisces, you get bored. It's about like really taking the boldness and going, and you're really attracted to travel or spiritual pursuits, but I feel like you're really stepping into your own autonomy, and you also have inner power here. So you are really stepping into your value, stepping into your voice of what it is that you have to offer, and you're really starting to attract people because of that. Because of your power, you are also making decisions to unlock a new part of your life, part of your world that you probably may have never thought of. And now you're being given opportunities to really start anew. And I'm hearing begin from scratch. Some of you may be leaving that 9-to-5 soul-sucking job, or some of you also may be leaving relationships that have felt stale. And you're really just forging your own path. You have temptation here. So I feel like this temptation is about staying attached, staying chained to the old. And this is 15, which equals 6. So this is about moving on from the temptation of the familiar, of staying comfortable, staying in a situation. Oh, there's also a key on here too. Staying in situations that just, don't leave you feeling fulfilled. And it takes a lot of courage to do that, Pisces, especially like if you're so used to a specific dynamic or you're used to doing a certain thing. It takes a lot of courage to get out of your comfort zone. You have emotional loss and you have passion ignited. So yeah, again, some of you may be really moving on from relationships, from friendship dynamics, and moving towards something that is more passionate, more fulfilling for you. And you have solitude at the bottom of the deck. So this is Hermit energy. And this is also finding wisdom in the solitude. All right, we're going to get into the tarot, see what Light Seers has. And Pisces, if this is resonating, please like, share, subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, the link for that is in the description box below. I also do hypnotherapy. I do Reiki, which those can all be done online. So, all right, Spirit, let's dive into this for my Pisces. What's going on here? You have the King of Wands, Aries, Sag, Leo energy. You have the Hermit again. Ooh, you have the Emperor. Okay, okay. And you have the Moon. Okay, and you have the Star at the bottom of the deck. Okay, this is Aquarian energy. So Pisces, you may be dealing with an Aries, Sag, Leo. Big emphasis on Aries because we have the Emperor here too. So I feel like you are... I'm hearing that song You Can Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac. You are really learning that you are building your own autonomy, your own inner power. And just because you perhaps have been in a connection or a relationship for however many years, time, whatever, like you are learning like your inner world also needs attention. It also needs love and affection. And I think that you have, I'm hearing, outgrown partnerships, or you have outgrown a certain dynamic that used to give you a lot of comfort, used to give you a lot of joy. But now I think that you're like, I have upgraded. You know, I've upgraded my mental state, and I also would like a partner to meet me in this elevated thought process, in the elevated state. You also have the moon here. So you have, it's interesting because on the outside you have a lot of blue. So I feel like there may be a underlying feeling of sadness for you, Pisces, that may be due to some dynamics that are in, may pertaining to the masculine. And this can also be about your fathers. This can be about, you know, your partners, whatever. You also may be a masculine who is feeling a little down, feeling a little sad. But the moon here really represents something deeper going on, some inner stirrings of the subconscious that's playing out. So I'm going to get some clarification here. I'm hearing a lot of surrender. But Pisces, I also get the feeling of like drowning, like you are feeling alone in your emotions. And it's almost like the more that you try to express them, the more that they don't get understood. It feels like you're kind of just talking to a wall. Spirit, why is the moon here for Pisces? Yeah, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Some of you really are considering exiting a relationship, a commitment. Yeah. Okay. So clarifying the moon, you have the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Hierophant, and you have the Hermit. So I feel like you are really contemplating on being in a more single energy. And this is about committing to yourself. And you have the Hermit twice here. So this is Virgo. And this is about learning the lessons of being in your solitude, being in your inner world. And you have the Hierophant here, which is also about commitment. This is spiritual commitment. And some of you may be pulling back from external relationships. You may be going on a journey of self-development, self-discovery, and really trying to understand the inner workings of who you are. But I do feel like there is a level of pulling back from old dynamics that used to give you a lot of joy, used to give you a lot of understanding. But I feel like you're really wanting you want more emotion, you want more commitment, you want more presence in your relationships. And I also feel like you want to be seen, Pisces. There's a big feeling around not being seen or understood here. And you also have the Death card, death and rebirth. So there's a lot of going back and forth with like taking the action to make a change. But some of you, I feel, are really going through a lot of emotional loss. And some of you may be, releasing old friendships, old dynamics that had you feeling small. And I think that's also due to you exiting the old way of, you're not a follower, Pisces. You are very much like, I'm going to do my own thing, and if you don't grow with me, then that's just how it is, but you really want emotional maturity, and you want to be able to also have your own autonomy without any sort of like jealousy or controlling manipulative behavior. You are also, on the back of this, it says freedom. So you want room to express yourself. You want room to travel, to really step into this energy of, I got this. Like, I don't need an external energy to help me feel secure. This is very much like, I'm going to get shit done myself. So I'm going to get some tea leaf here. Spirit, what's going on here for Pisces? Grasshopper, situations in the balance that require careful handling. Yeah. So I think that you guys are being strategic about this. You are really allowing yourself to feel into, if you do make a decision, like, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? And some of you may have kids involved. You have decisions at the bottom of the deck too. You have flowers, you have happiness. So making decisions towards your happiness and what that looks like for you. And Pisces, I feel like you also want to be in a relationship where you don't feel like you have to shrink yourself to be comfortable, Okay, you have heart, love, deep affection, and caring. And you have caterpillar, things will not always be this way. A change is coming. Yes. And if this isn't about you, leaving a relationship or anything like that, this can also be like a change in your relationship. And it may be coming after a really hard period of not seeing eye to eye on things, or just not growing at the same level. And Pisces, that's a very human thing. If you're in a long-term relationship and you've been with this person for X amount of years and you're so used to a certain dynamic, when it comes time to grow and flourish, oftentimes one person grows and then the other is still in a certain mind frame or a certain level, and when you elevate and you want more emotional commitment and understanding, that can be really hard, and it puts a lot of strain and pressure on dynamics, because especially if you're in a committed relationship, like, you have to learn how to navigate that together. So some of you may be in marriage counseling and really like taking this seriously to be able to grow together, because there is a lot of love. There's a lot of love for this person. There's a lot of love for, these people, but it comes down to willingness to change, willingness to, move out of the old. You're really accepting and moving forward. You're breaking out of the old paradigm, and now you're attracting more joy, more creative power, more emotional depth. And I think that you're seeking that out of your connections. So Spirit, what advice is here for Pisces? Oh, that's weird that card's in there. It goes over there. All right. You have speak up. What are you not saying that's eating you up inside? You can't keep this in forever. It's time to let it out so you can move on and be happy. Yeah. And I feel that way with the moon card here. So this is about using your voice, that Gemini energy, speaking up for what it is that you want, speaking up for your needs. And you have lighten up. You're being asked to remember that life doesn't always have to be so serious. Yes, there are hard things happening. No, it's not always easy to be here on Earth, but you can find time to laugh, be silly, and have fun. It's so important that you do so. So yeah, and Pisces, if you have some good friends who you can cut up with, go out and have a good time with, sometimes it's really about like getting out of the funk, getting out of your environment, and that can really help elevate your energy. So all right, Pisces, I hope this helped. Again, if you would like a personal reading, go ahead and click on the link down below. I would love to help you out. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one. Remember, you are the magic. Blessed be. Bye.